I have been in business for a hot minute. And when you've been in business for as long as I have, sometimes like the moment things changed or like the big milestones kind of start to blend together and you don't exactly remember like where change happened or why things happened. But I can tell you absolutely for sure what the biggest, most pivotal part of growing my business to 100K / the most pivotal part of growing my business as a whole was. Like, this is the thing that I know for sure, 100% hands down, was what changed the game for me. It's what took me from working my ass off to make $30,000 a year to working a little bit less to make $100,000 a year. It's what took me from an audience of nobody to thousands of people in my audience. It is what took me from doing web design to doing more passive products like courses and digital products. Have you guessed it yet? 'Cause it's YouTube. I can tell you for sure that when I hit $100,000 in my business, I had 30,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And I didn't even need 30,000 people on YouTube to make $100,000 in my business. But I remember that moment of like, oh, I made $100,000 this year and I have 30,000 people on YouTube. And I had been trying so hard to get to that 100K year number. I had been a web designer and graphic designer with little tiny babies at home making $10,000 a year and like making nothing, right? And then I jumped from that to like $30,000 a year. And then I jumped from that to 60. And 60 felt like all I could do with what my business was at the time, which was web design. I did not feel like I could really get above that. There was just so much that went into that. And, you know, if I took more clients, I had to hire people. If I did this, I had to do that. And I know now that I could have done bigger, better things in web design. But at the time, I truly felt like, oh, like I've topped out. And then I started YouTube. And when I tell you that literally that is when everything changed, I'm not joking. It opened up the doors for me as like a speaker at conferences. It opened up the doors for me to be interviewed on other people's channels, other people's podcasts, blogs, things like that. It allowed me to diversify my income like I had never been able to do before with AdSense, affiliate marketing, and things like that. It allowed me to become a name in a room that previously nobody knew about. I actually remember when I had like a super, super small following on YouTube. I had just started. And what I did at first was I put up a bunch of tech tutorials. So I had things like how to put a button in ConvertKit before ConvertKit just like allowed you to have buttons, and how to make a signature in Gmail that was like all pretty and cool. And I probably had like less than 500 subscribers when I went to my first business conference, and literally people from stage and in the audience and like while networking were referencing my YouTube videos and saying things like, well, the Jessica Stansberry method says this, or Jessica Stansberry told me this. And I think that was the moment that I realized how powerful the platform was. Because I had like no subscribers, yet I went to a conference where everybody was like, oh, well, Jessica Stansberry said to do this. Jessica Stansberry said to do that. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I had been trying to grow my audience, grow my leads, grow my sales, grow all the things with several platforms up until this point. And I had had some success with some things. So when I first started trying to be super visible on the internet, I was using a social media platform called Periscope. Raise your hand if you remember Periscope. I feel like I'm dating myself a little bit with that. But basically, it was like a live video social platform before Facebook and Instagram had live video, so they were like the only one of their kind, right? And I built a decent following going live on Periscope and like doing the things on Periscope. And then Facebook Live kind of came along and ate that. And then I was doing things like being inside of other people's Facebook groups, having my own Facebook group, going live on Facebook, you know, doing the Instagram strategy, all the things. And I had done like a decent-ish job at like growing a following, but it was going at like a turtle speed. And then someone came on our podcast and literally was like, Jessica, you should be on YouTube. It'll help with SEO, all the things, blah, blah, blah. And I had always loved tech and cameras and had always felt fairly like my personality would match on camera, all the things. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And literally from moment one, I was like, oh, all right. I see why this platform is better. Y'all have probably heard me tell this story before, but when I started on YouTube, it was kind of just for the SEO benefits. It was just to have YouTube videos that went along with my blog posts, that my blog posts were the main attraction. The blog posts were the things that I was hoping to get traction and be found in search, and then people get my lead magnets and all the things. So I would have a YouTube video that went along with that, and I would embed the YouTube video. And honestly, that was like the YouTube strategy. That's all I did. I literally would create the YouTube video, and then I would put it over onto a blog post. And for the most part, I ignored YouTube. Like, there was no strategy there. It was just a dumping place for me to put good keywords in, put them in a blog post, and go. And then I remember about a year in to doing this, and doing this pretty inconsistently and, with not a lot of strategy, I opened up YouTube one day to upload a video, and I saw that I had like 450 subscribers. And I was like, how the heck did I get 450 subscribers? I've never once promoted this platform or whatever. And all of the other platforms that I was using to grow my audience at the time, blogging, Facebook groups, Facebook Lives, like all of those things, they all felt like an uphill battle. Like I had to constantly be like doing the things and pointing people to those things and all the things. And I had gained 450 subscribers out of nowhere. Okay. So at that point, I kind of had to like, okay, maybe I should pay more attention. And I dove in head freaking first into YouTube at this point. This was like mid-year-ish of 2017. And I dove in head first. I literally started watching all the gurus about YouTube, how to grow on YouTube, how to do the things on YouTube, all the things, and really just developed my own strategy, because a lot of the people who teach YouTube are teaching YouTubers how to YouTube. Like if you want to be a full-time influencer or if you want to be a full-time content creator, right? It wasn't a lot of, oh, you're a business owner and you want to use YouTube as your content platform to build the business. And so I was doing a lot of like, okay, I'm going to watch this person and apply that in the best way that makes sense for me and my business. I grew pretty quickly at that point. From like June or July to September, I went from 500 subscribers to like 1,700. And I remember this because I had, in my like rabbit hole of trying to find people that I wanted to follow and like follow their advice and all the things, I found Tim Schmoyer with Video Creators. He has since sold his company, but I found him and he was doing an intensive, and I was like, I need to be in that room. I need to have those eyeballs on my channel. I need to do this networking. And from the time that I kind of decided to take my channel serious when it was less than 500 subscribers to the time I went to that event, I had grown from 500 to 1,700. And then I got a ton of really great advice at the event. I just continued to learn, and within the next year grew from 1,700 to about 30,000 subscribers. And 2018 was the year that I hit $100,000 in my business, which is just bananas cuckoo pants. Now, mind you, I did not hit $100,000 in my business from AdSense. In fact, I barely made any money from AdSense at all for the first several years on YouTube, because that's just not a very predictable stream of income, and it's also not really something that I was focusing on. I was focusing on selling my own stuff, promoting affiliate links, getting leads that then went into funnels, that then went into my own stuff. And so with that strategy is how I hit 100,000, not with AdSense. And the reason, y'all, the reason that this worked, well, there's a couple. But number one, YouTube was and still is the only platform where your content lives like in an evergreen way, to where content that you created years ago can still be bringing in views, leads, sales, etc. And so it was really cool because I could get in a constant content creation stream with YouTube, just the same as I would have had to have done with Instagram or Facebook or, TikTok, if that was a thing when I started, which it wasn't. But I would have had to have the same kind of content strategy. But with YouTube, every video I put on the platform could live forever. Like I still have videos to this day from 2016, 2017 that are bringing in views and are bringing in leads and are bringing in sales. It's kind of crazy. So basically I had set up this like evergreen lead generating sales machine with YouTube, and I was creating content that would attract my ideal customers, viewers, like whatever you want to call them, right? And I would then, in my videos, in some of my videos, I would promote a lead magnet, a freebie, a paid offer, like a webinar, whatever. And from that, people would sign up. People would then buy the thing I was selling on the other end, and voila. And if I was doing my job correctly, which I was, because I literally came to YouTube as a marketer, so I knew kind of what I was doing here, even if in a video I was promoting a live webinar that then ended and wasn't happening anymore, and then I was going and like selling something else, I would then set those things up in an evergreen way, whether it was a webinar or something else that someone could get or whatever, so that if someone saw that old content and the webinar wasn't happening anymore, they were still able to get in my funnels to buy the thing I was trying to promote. Not only was like YouTube directly leading to more money, but it made me omnipresent. It made me more searchable, more findable, more unforgettable. And it made me someone who people would mention in rooms that I wasn't even in. And that was a huge deal too. That alone, that part of YouTube alone, even if you never promote a lead magnet or a sale or whatever, just showing up as you, as your personality, as an expert here on this platform opens up so many freaking doors. It opens up doors for you to speak at conferences, because people literally can see what they're going to get if they hire you to speak at a conference, right? Like, they see it. Like, this is it, right? Again, it opens you up and positions you as an expert in whatever you're talking about, whatever you're, YouTubing about. And therefore, if somebody needs a podcast guest, a speaker, like I just said, someone to be like a guest blogger or even a guest on a YouTube channel, they know who to come to. And if they don't know who to come to, somebody knows who to come to, and likely it will somehow get down the pipeline, because that's how all of this works. So if you've ever wondered why I'm still consistent on YouTube, why I'm still doing the YouTube game, why I'm still here after 8+ years of being on this platform, it's because it freaking works. The more I grow on YouTube, the more content I put on YouTube, the bigger my audience gets, the more my bottom line grows, the more I'm asked to speak or to be an expert or whatever in different things, and the more the whole thing works. The more affiliate links get clicked, the more small offers that get purchased, the more lead magnets that get downloaded, and the whole thing works like butter. And I'm telling you all of this because if you are a business owner specifically, I think you should probably be on YouTube. You can grow faster on other platforms. Like, if you started right now and you decided, I'm gonna put one YouTube video up a week, I'm gonna do, one TikTok video a day, and I'm gonna do a couple reels per week on Instagram, you'll probably grow faster as far as numbers on TikTok, because TikToks are just like the wild freaking west, and you probably will go viral at some point on that platform pretty early on, whereas it might take you a little while longer to go viral or get some kind of pickup here on YouTube. However, TikTok audiences don't leave the platform. Trust me, I've tested it. They're not leaving the platform to go get a lead magnet or whatever the scenario is. And they're just garbage quality when you compare them to everybody else. Like, my TikTok views and my TikTok comments are generally the bottom of the garbage can compared to other platforms that I'm on, including YouTube. Also, your content dies so freaking fast on the other platforms, so every piece of content you put out is done within like 24 to 48 hours. Like, it's not gonna do well after that point. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that kind of sucks. I think if you're putting all the time and effort into creating content, it could have the decency to last longer than that. So full disclosure, you're probably not gonna grow that fast on YouTube. Like, sometimes people do. And I grew pretty fast once I got serious about it and really became like a student of the platform. But You're not going to grow as fast as you do on TikTok or maybe even Instagram, but the conversion rates, way better. Like chef's kiss better. Also, the ability to create evergreen sales funnels on YouTube, chef's kiss. Also, the ability to be seen as more of an expert on this platform than any other platform because of the quality of content, but also because it's a harder platform. You actually have to like film horizontally and like not just use your phone most of the time. You can, but that's not the point of this video. And the quality of content is so high that most people don't stick with it. Most people are not going to be consistent. So if you can be consistent, then you're going to stand out, your content's going to stand out, and you're going to be the one in 7 years being like, holy shit, when I started on YouTube, that's when everything changed. So this is just a PSA. Put your business on YouTube. Get your business booty on the tubies. And I promise you, if you'll be consistent and you'll learn the platform, you will not be let down. And next week, I'm going to show you exactly how I plan my content and how I make sure I'm consistent with the goal of getting more views, leads, and sales to my business with every single video that I put out. So you're not gonna wanna miss that one. That's going down next week. And in the meantime, give me a little fist bump emoji in the comments, because who couldn't use a fist bump in their day? I know I can. Bye, y'all.